Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Texas A&M University's commissioning ceremony. I would like to extend a warm Aggie welcome to everyone attending today's special occasion. Please stand as able and remain standing for the entrance of the official party, honors to General Milley, and our national anthem, followed by the invocation.
Almighty God, we thank you for bringing us together this day. We gather to celebrate the accomplishments of these young men and women who've made the decision to selflessly serve their country. This decision comes with great responsibility. We humbly ask your protection as they enter the military service. Give them unflinching courage to defend with honor, dignity, and devotion the rights of all who are imperiled by injustice and evil. Be their rock, their shield, and their stronghold, and let them draw their strength from you. Above all, bless these men and women and sustain them in the face of whatever may come. Bless as well our nation, its leaders, and its military services, that truth, justice, and liberty may prevail and prosper by your aid. For you are the God of blessings and providence, the source of all good, the sustainer of our lives. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to welcome our distinguished guests. I ask that you please hold your applause until all have been introduced. First, we are honored to have as our guest speaker and commissioning official, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark A. Milley, United States Army. We are also honored to have Mr. Bill Mahomes, class of 1969, and Mr. Michael Plank, class of 1983, members of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents, and Mr. Randy Brooks, class of 1986, Regent Designate, Texas A&M University System Board of Regents. Mr. Jim Schwartner, Regent Emeritus. Dr. Daniel Pugh, Vice President for Student Affairs. Our host, Brigadier General Joe E. Ramirez, Jr., class of 1979, Commandant of the Corps of Cadets. Colonel Blake Connors, Professor of Military Science. Colonel Michael Riley, class of 1994, Professor of Naval Science, and Colonel Sherry Levan, Professor of Aerospace Studies. Please join me in a round of applause for our special guests. The Doherty Award was established by Mr. W.T. Doherty in memory of his parents, William and Kathleen Doherty. The award is given to a graduating senior from each ROTC who spent 4 years in the Corps and will commission into the armed forces. Among the criteria, the winners must be of high moral character, exhibit patriotism for both country and state, and be a faithful Aggie who has earned the trust and admiration of the Corps, the student body at large, and the officers of the campus military establishment. At this time, General Milley will present the Doherty Awards. This year, we are pleased to present the Doherty Awards to Second Lieutenant Zachary Brown, United States Army. Second Lieutenant Eric Krieger, United States Marine Corps. And Second Lieutenant Haley Sisko, United States Air Force. Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General Joe E. Ramirez, Jr., class of 1979.
Well, howdy. What a great day to be in Aggie Land, and what a great day to carry on the time-honored tradition of commissioning men and women from Texas A&M into the armed forces of the United States, continuing a legacy of service to our nation that spans 145 years. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our commissioning officer, the 20th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark A. Milley. He is the nation's highest-ranking military officer and the principal military advisor to the President, the Secretary of the Defense, and the National Security Council. General Milley has had a distinguished military career that spans over 40 years. He has held multiple command and staff positions throughout his career, including serving as the Commanding General of the International Security Assistance Force Joint Command and Deputy Commanding General of U.S. Forces, Afghanistan. Before becoming the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley served as the 39th Chief of Staff of the United States Army. A native of Massachusetts, General Milley graduated from Princeton University in 1980, where he received his commission from Army ROTC. He has 2 master's degrees, a master's degree in international relations from Columbia University and a master's degree in national security and strategic studies from the U.S. Naval War College. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 20th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark A. Milley, to Texas A&M University.
So, I've known Joe Ramirez for quite a while, and he said, whatever you do, don't say hook 'em horns. So howdy. What do you think? I'm here in Gig'em country, yeah? I was born in Boston, but got to Texas as fast as I could. And I am a proud resident of this great state, by the way, having formerly commanded Fort Hood just up the road. And it's great to be here. And I'm enormously humbled to be here and to commission the ROTC cadets and midshipmen as second lieutenants, which I know you're already wearing it, but you're not yet sworn in. But I'm very humbled to be here as a product of ROTC myself. And ROTC produces the most officers every year into the United States military. It's a great program that started a little bit over 100 years ago. And this particular university is one of the greatest ROTC programs ever. So thank you for all you do, and thanks to the families for what you do for all of these cadets. And I want to take a moment to thank Joe and the Regents for your leadership, not only here in the ROTC program, but in the university at large and more broadly in all of Texas and really in all of the country. This university is the largest university in the United States of America, approaching 70 or a little bit over 70,000 students. It's an unbelievable school. It has all kinds of disciplines, some of which are reflected here before us today. But what a great school and what a great place to be. And I want to thank all of you for your leadership every day, day in and day out. And today is really your day. You're about to graduate, get commissioned, and move on into a new walk of life. But really, the reason you're here is only partly because of yourself. The real reason you're here is because of the folks up in the stands behind you. Every one of us is a product of a mother and a father, a brother, a sister, grandmother, grandfather, coaches, teachers, etc. None of us get to where we are in life by ourselves. And I'd like to give a round of applause for your families because they own these bars just as much as you do. And you know, I work in the Pentagon. You've heard of that place in D.C. And I'm surrounded by a lot of folks who attended West Point and Annapolis, the Air Force Academy. But I got to tell you, from where I come from, they all kind of look all alike. But Aggies, you're something special. And every single day, it's never lost on me who an Aggie is in that Pentagon. Every time I go to a unit anywhere, I was out with the Navy and saw some subs, go see the Marines, go see Army, Air Force. No matter where you are, you'll always find an Aggie. And you have everything to be proud of in the long tradition of this school. And I can tell you that this school produces, Joe, some incredible officers like yourself, and these cadets, these now second lieutenants, are going to be following right in your footsteps. So I just want to brag on those in Aggie land just a little bit. You know your own history, but I want to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. I also want to let you know a little bit about what I think you're getting into and why you're getting into it. But I do want to first comment on my uniform that I'm wearing. Check it out, because it looks an awful lot like an Aggie uniform. And there's a reason for that, and we adopted it because all the Aggies on the Army staff insisted when I was Chief of Staff of the Army that I change the uniform. So I went ahead and did it. And all who think Joe Ramirez should buy himself a set of greens before retirement, what do you think? All in favor, say aye. He asked me for donations because he said it's kind of expensive, so if someone wants to give donations to Ramirez, give him donations. Hey, today's a very exciting day, and it's the beginning of what you're going to do. And the work you're going to do is fundamental. It's fundamental to our nation. It's perhaps, in my view anyway, it's the most fundamental. And you are not going to have a job. You are joining a profession, and what you're doing is really a calling. It's very much a calling to the colors for serving something much bigger than yourself. Your task is going to be to keep the peace, and you're going to do that by preparing for war. And with the help of God, there'll be no war. But if there is, your task is to fight and to win it. Your teammates from this school are going to walk out and graduate and go into all kinds of lines of work throughout our country, and they undoubtedly will be great leaders in their own right. But for you, you're entering into something far different. You're entering in to a lifestyle, a calling, a way of life where you might die. You may lose an arm. You may lose a leg. There are times when you're going to be utterly and absolutely miserable. Make no mistake about what it is you're joining. You're going to be asked to climb high mountains, cross oceans under sea, weeks on end without ever seeing the surface. You're going to be asked to jump out of airplanes or fly airplanes. You're going to be asked to do things that very, very few people ever do. But I can tell you, you're going to climb that mountain, and you're going to cross that river, and you're going to do what Aggies have always done, which is engage in close quarters combat and defend this country. As George Patton reportedly once said, "Give me an army of West Point graduates and I'll win a battle. But give me a handful of Texas Aggies and I'll win a war." In the past year, your long-awaited zip year, our country has witnessed very turbulent times. including a formidable fight against the global pandemic, which has killed more Americans than we lost in World War II, a war that my mother and father both served in the Pacific. Despite the challenges of the pandemic that's been placed in our nation's path, each of you has persevered together to reach your shared goal to complete your academic studies, to take care of one another, and decide to selflessly serve this nation. You're the only organization on campus that is as old as the university itself, and the Corps routinely provides the highest number of newly commissioned officers in the country from any ROTC program every year, to include all of the great universities and the one I went to as well. And you represent all of America, and you represent all that's good about America. You represent the quality that gives America our unique strength, what makes us undaunted by the difficult, that makes us motivated by the so-called impossible. You are the strength of our nation. You represent the experiment in liberty that's captured in the simple phrase of e pluribus unum, of the many come one. Represented in this class right here before me are 6 countries and 42 states from all across America. You bring culture, perspective, and ideas from every corner of our nation. But what unites you in action is your shared desire, your commitment to serve a cause greater than yourself. Before us today are 67 Army officers, 12 United States Marines, 21 naval officers, 57 in the United States Air Force, and 2 in our newest branch, the United States Space Force. Everyone in the stands, everyone across America, and me as well, are enormously proud of every single one of you. And when we talk about Texas A&M as a very special place with a very storied past, roots that dive deep into American history, members of this Corps of Cadets have served in every United States conflict since the Spanish-American War. 264 Aggies have served as general or flag officers, and 8 alumni have received our nation's highest award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Here, at this school, the unflagging devotion to preserve tradition is unparalleled, really, anywhere in the country. Right here at College Station, right here through your Fish Orientation Week, on your march to the Brazos River, at Kyle Field, the Midnight Yell, yes, even the Dixie Chicken and Bottle Cap Alley to assemble, which I have no idea what that is, but it must mean something to you. Every single one of you has unbreakable bonds that are now forged. And those bonds are going to be important to you in the future because you're going to be placed into situations where cohesion is going to matter. They will sustain you in all the organizations that you serve with for the rest of your life. You are today and you are forever the keepers of the Spirit. At the time when Texas A&M came to be in 1876, just 100 years after the founding of our great country, the United States was enjoying a period of relative peace and prosperity. Then, when your school was just 38 years old, the shot from a pistol fired by a terrorist in Sarajevo cast the world into the cataclysm of deadly global great power conflict that unveiled destruction on a scale not previously seen in human history. Between 1914 in 1945. The First and Second World Wars laid waste to countries all around the world. 150 million people were killed in the most violent 3 decades of human history. At the end of World War II, the leaders of 1945 designed our current rules-based international world order. And it's true, there's been a lot of wars since 1945, each with a significant loss of life, but there has not been a third great power war. We are now in the 76th year of great power peace following World War II, and it's under stress, that great power peace. We can see it fraying at the edge. And with history as our guide, we would all be wise to lift our gaze from the never-ending urgency of the present and set the conditions for a future that prevents great power war. Right now, as we sit here today in College Station, we are engaged in a great power competition with China and Russia. And with your help and your leadership, we will keep it at great power competition and avoid great power war. Each of you are going to play a very important role in keeping that peace. You can expect to be at the edge many, many times, to make hard choices, life and death choices, and you're going to do that with imperfect information. You're going to have to keep your guard up, keep your readiness up against the enduring nature of all the security challenges that are going to be facing you. Each and every one of you is going to be fundamental to our nation's defense. And you're going to be well equipped to meet these challenges. You're graduates of an institution that's instilled excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, selfless service in each and every one of you. You followed the Aggie Honor Code. You've gathered on solemn Tuesday nights at the statue of Lawrence Sullivan Ross to observe silver taps for your classmates who are no longer with us. And few things are more powerful than an Aggie muster, which I understand happened just a few weeks ago. To come together wherever you are, to conduct the roll call for the absent, the essence of the 12th man, the power of the 12th man echoes through each and every one of you. And your unity, your willingness, and your readiness to serve when called upon. You are the home of the 12th man. And with this ethos as your guide, many Corps alumni have distinguished themselves through extraordinary contributions to our country. You're bound to them by your uniquely A&M experience and the sacrifices that you have chosen to make. When America has faced dark days in the past and challenging times, Aggies have always stood ready to answer the call. For nearly 2 continuous decades, we have fought terrorism in the Middle East and across the globe. 27 graduates of this university have paid the ultimate sacrifice, have given their lives to keep this nation free. This fundamental principle of selfless service has shaped this Corps since its earliest days. In March 1917, even before the declaration of war in World War I by the United States, the A&M campus became a training site for the Army, training over 4,000 personnel. Just a generation later, this tradition of service continued in World War II, during which 20,229 Aggies served. And of those, 14,123 were officers, more than any other school that commissioned officers in World War II, to include the Naval Academy and West Point combined. One of those officers was a young man named Earl Rudder. As part of D-Day, Operation Overlord, then Lieutenant Colonel Rudder and his 2nd Ranger Battalion were tasked to destroy a critical Nazi stronghold along the coast of Normandy. General Omar Bradley, who personally tasked Rudder with the mission, recounted in his memoir, "No soldier in my command has ever been wished a more difficult task than that which befell the 34-year-old commander of the Provisional Ranger Force." Rudder's Rangers stormed the beach at Pointe du Hoc, scaled the 100-foot cliff under enemy fire to reach and destroy German gun batteries. The battalion's casualty rate exceeded 50%, and Lieutenant Colonel Rudder himself was wounded twice in the course of that operation. In spite of this, the Rangers dug in and fought off German counterattacks for 2 days. He and his soldiers were instrumental in establishing a foothold for Allied forces that would lead to the liberation of Europe and the unconditional surrender of the Nazis. Later, Lieutenant Colonel Rudder commanded the 109th Infantry Regiment, which played a critical role in the Battle of the Bulge. And Rudder rose to the rank of Major General and was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the Legion of Merit, the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts, and the French Legion of Honor. And then, of course, he came here as the president of Texas A&M and guided the Corps through some of its most impactful milestones, including the admission of women to both A&M and the Corps. Rudder was a hero, no doubt, but he had one thing that you're not going to have. He had time. Time to train and time to prepare. You will likely not have time. You're not going to have time to correct the mistakes, to evolve, to adapt, to mobilize, and to defeat our enemies. We live in an age of artificial intelligence. You're going to lead a force that's going to include robots, hypersonics, long-range precision munitions. We can see and strike targets at ranges never before seen in human history. We right now are redefining the way of war for the future. We're redefining what overmatch means and what it looks like in space and cyber. And the country that masters these new technologies, that develops the talent in its leaders to master these technologies, and then combine them with the doctrine and take advantage of all the capabilities that they will provide. The side that does that best will have a decisive advantage at the start of the next war. 20 years from now, in 2041, many of you are going to be at the helm of the Joint Force. Most of you will be lieutenant colonels or colonels. And I challenge you to be bold and to innovate. Each of you is likely to be in combat at some point in your future. Remain vigilant. Your time will be short. Stand ready. Be prepared. Deter that great power war, but if it comes, fight it and win it. And you do that by training and discipline. You do that by being this nation's 12th man. You do that by being the Lieutenant Colonel Rudder of 2041. To be prepared for war, to quote George Washington, is one of the most effectual means of preserving the peace. And that's going to be your task. But in addition to the innovation and readiness and competence and capability that you're going to develop, you're also going to need incredible character. And for this, look no further than the oath that you are about to take. It's a very special oath. You may have heard about it a lot from fathers or brothers or mothers. You may have seen it talked about in the news recently over the past year or more. You know, there's over 190 countries in the United Nations. But we, the United States military, we're the only one who swears an oath to a document, not to a tribe, not to a person, not to a religion, and not to a piece of ground. We swear an oath to an idea. And if there's one message for you to remember today, It's the message of your oath. It's the message of why you are willing to die, why you are willing to give your arm, your leg, separate from your family, to suffer grievous wounds. Why? Why are you willing to fight? Why are you willing to put that uniform on? It's all about an idea. And it's the idea that is America. An idea that is America that was born 240 plus years ago. And at the time we were an imperfect nation, and we're still an imperfect nation. But as it says in the opening to that document, the Constitution, we are striving to always form a more perfect union. And this idea in our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence, it's a powerful idea. It's so powerful that the Nazis were deathly afraid of it. The fascists of Italy, the communists, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all the enemies of this country have been afraid of this idea. The Soviet Union collapsed because of it. The Chinese communists hate it. We defeated Imperial Japan because of it. What is the essence of this idea? Well, look around you, and you'll see it. Look in the stands, and you can see the idea that is America. Look to your left and look to your right. Wherever you are, at home, or anywhere on this campus, or anywhere in Texas, or anywhere in America, look around, and you're going to see the idea. And the idea is simple. And all it says is that you and I, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female, man or woman, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, transgender, none of that matters. It doesn't matter if you're white or you're black or Asian or Indian. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Protestant, Muslim or Jew, or if you choose not to believe at all. None of that matters. What matters in this idea, in the idea that is America, what matters is that every single one of us is born free and equal. And you're going to rise or you're going to fall based on your merit, your talent. You're going to rise or fall based on your hard work, your knowledge, your skills, or your attributes. And you're going to be judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. That is the very essence of this country. That is what it means to be an American. That is why you wear that uniform. That is why Colonel Rudder assaulted Pointe du Hoc. That is why we fight. And I am enormously proud today to be here today to welcome you into the profession of arms, a calling which might cost your life for that very cause. So I would ask that at this time you all stand, and I'm going to administer your oath. So go ahead and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Having been appointed a second lieutenant or an ensign in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Space Force, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, lieutenants.
Andrew Agner, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Ethan Ahern, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Ethan Alleyman, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Christopher Alexander, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. James Anderson, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Edith Ainzel Duo, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Evan Aranda, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Andrew Avina, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Ross Basinger, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Zachary Bankson, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Barry. Alicia Berry, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Mia Barando, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Kaylin Bowe, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Curtis Boyd, Second Lieutenant, United States Space Force. Ryan Briner, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. William Brown, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Zachary Brown, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Colt Burr, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Samuel Bynum, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. David Casagrande, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Brendan Cassell, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Tanner Cedrone, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Ricardo Cervantes, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Kenneth Chisholm, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Patrick Connolly, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Stephanie Contreras, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Jose Cruz III, Ensign, United States Navy. Jamie Cuoco, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Noah Daly, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Carlos De Leon, Ensign, United States Navy. Noah Deal, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Connor Devlin, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Alexander Domack, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jacob Duane, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Justin Elston Hurdle, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Charles Fortenberry, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Justin Fowler, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jose Galvan, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Andres Garcia, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Luis Garcia, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Marshall Garrett, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Celine Gesgen, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. William Groskoff, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. John Guthrie, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Ethan Hall, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Taylor Hankomer, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jonathan Harrington, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Genesis Hatton, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Cole Hodges, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Alicia Hodgen, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Kevin Hoodwin, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Casey Hudgens, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jacob Huffman, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Lucas Hurley, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Andrew Jansen, Ensign, United States Navy. Cindy Jazierski, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Logan Kasuki, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Rashana Kulkarni, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Kyle Landry, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Chase Luggs, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Dylan Ledman, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Dongjin Lee, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Stephen Liner, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. David Lewis, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Ethan Lochner, Ensign, United States Navy. Ryan Losing, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Josiah Lowe, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Robert Lozano, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Michael Mabry, Ensign, United States Navy. Clifford McKenzie, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Cole Mansker, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Matthew Merriquin, Ensign, United States Navy. Zachary Martinez, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Travis Martini, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Josh Matthew, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Sean Madison, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Zachary McBrayer, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Julia McGinnis, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. John McLaughlin, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Patrick McMonigal, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Ryan Mers, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Connor Miller, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Alexander Miranda, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Bryce Mitchell, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Eric Montero, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. William Moore, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Connor Moravitz, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Emily Neely, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Hong Nguyen, Ensign, United States Navy. Brian Nickpon, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Kyle Newerski, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Bryce Olinger, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Christopher Ontai, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Stephen Orchuli, Ensign, United States Navy. Nicholas O'Toole, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Joshua Pacifico, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Emiliano Padilla, Ensign, United States Navy. Dylan Parsons, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. David Pauley, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Mason Perez, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Nicholas Petrie, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Donovan Pranzoni, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Luis Raines, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Nathan Redmond, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Caleb Reynolds, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Robert Riegert, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Andrew Riley, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Ethan Ritchie, Ensign, United States Navy. Joseph Rivas, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Colin Rolls, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Joseph Rutherford, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Max Ruzick, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Robert Ryan, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Cade Sandell, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Julia Severis, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Connor Schmidt, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Matthew Simrick, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Kelly Singletary, Second Lieutenant, United States Space Force. Haley Sisko, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Sean Slaughter, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Aaron Smith, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jackson Smitherman, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Dalton St. Romain, Ensign, United States Navy. Riley Steele, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Tristan Steele, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Mary Stewart, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Hannah Sullivan, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Nicholas Sweet, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Abraham Thomas, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Julia Vega Ayala, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Luke Vitullo, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Max Voss, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Evan Walker, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Clayton Westbrook, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. John Winkler, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Hudson Wittig, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Andrew Whitman, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Tanner Wood, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. James Woods, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Alexa Watman, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Kevin Wright, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Kyle Wright, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Jun Yi, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Sabrina Yim, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Austin Zaharoff, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. McKinley Zollner, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Michael Castano, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Sierra German, Ensign, United States Navy. Eric Krieger, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Caleb McFadden, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Michael Milton, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Jordan Phillips, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Ashley Spence, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. David Turlip, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Benjamin Wade, Second Lieutenant, United States Air Force. Samantha Mayo, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Kepler Shelby, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Feli Vasic, Second Lieutenant, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a final round of applause for our newest second lieutenants and ensigns in the United States Armed Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the service songs.